Hi there, my name is Bev Mansfield, and I'm a great fan of Young Living products. And I guess I should share with you that a few weeks ago I celebrated my 90th birthday. And so Young Living isn't just for young people, but it's also for those of us who are young at heart. So that being said, I thought I would like to take you on a little walk through my day with Young Living products and just show you what they mean to me and how I use them. So next to my bed, I have a nightstand, and in that drawer, I have a number of bottles of Young Living products. And the very first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, before I'm even out of the bed, I take a bottle of peppermint that has a spray top on it. Should have brought that out to show it to you. But I spray that into my mouth on my tongue, and then I put my tongue up on the roof of my mouth. And oh, that is so refreshing. It takes away all the dryness and just wakes me up and opens up my nasal passages and gets me off to a good start for the day. So once I've done that, my next bottle is a little bottle of Valor. And I put a drop on my wrist, and then I rub my wrists together, and somehow that's supposed to bring balance into my body. Don't understand exactly how these things work, but I know that they are effective. After that, I have a little bottle of Cypress. I usually have roller tops on my bottles because they're easier for me to use that way. And my little bottle of Cypress, I rub on my feet and massage my feet, and that's supposed to do something for my circulation. So after I do that, then my very favorite bottle is frankincense, and I rub that both on my feet and also behind my ears. And once I've rubbed it in, I put my hands up and I just smell in that wonderful fragrance. I take several deep breaths and just get that going all through my body to start my day off. After that, I have several different ones. One that I use regularly is White Angelique, I believe it's called, and I put that on my forehead because once I get in and wash my face, it does something positive. So those are the things that I do before I even step out of my bed. Once I get out of bed, I go around and I get my diffuser, which looks like this. I think it's the original one that they had called the home diffuser. And there's several different options now, but this one has worked for me. And I have that going all night long, and it gives me the most peaceful sleep. I fill it up in the morning when I get up so that it's all ready to go, so that when I crawl in bed at night, I can just push the button and have it ready to go. And it has both a high speed and a low speed, and I put it on the lower speed because then it runs for about 7 hours and keeps me sleeping peacefully all night long. So then once I've gotten that filled and ready to turn on when I get in bed at night, I'm ready to head to the bathroom. And one of the first things that I do in the morning is drink 16 ounces of water with a couple drops of lemon in it to make it refreshing. And once I've gotten that done, I'm ready to do the bathing. And once I've taken care of that, I usually use the lavender hand and body lotion because my skin is quite dry, and that works well for me. Let me think, what else do I do? Oh, if I'm washing my hair that day, I use the Lavender Mint Young Living shampoo. I like that. And if you get the idea that I like lavender, you're absolutely right. I forgot to mention that's what I usually use for my overnights in my diffuser. I use lavender and a Thieves, 5 drops of lavender and 3 drops of Thieves, which works well for me overnight. So brushing my teeth, I use the Thieves Aroma Bright toothpaste. And let me think now. What else do I do in the bathroom? I'm not really into a lot of makeup, but I do really enjoy the Young Living lipstick that I have. It comes with oil on one end and lipstick on the other end, and it just keeps my lips moist and just a little bit of a tinge of color. And I know that they have some fantastic cosmetic items in the Young Living line now that younger people would very much enjoy using. So once I've finished in the bathroom, most important thing that I do in the bathroom after I've taken care of my bathing is that I use the biblical oils for anointing myself every single day. And I use what they call the leper's anointing, which is found in Leviticus 14:14, but it's anointing your right earlobe to control your thought life, anointing your right thumb to control your work life, and then anointing your right toe to control your walk life for the day. And I use 4 different Young Living oils for that. The first one I use is oil of myrrh, and you're probably familiar with the fact that that was one of the gifts that the wise men gave to the baby Jesus, and it actually in biblical times was what was their what am I trying to say? Anyway, it's what they used when they prepared a body. It represented death, is what I'm trying to say. And so you also probably are aware that in the book of Esther, the queen candidates had to bathe in oil of myrrh for 6 months before they could have their one night with the king. And the idea was that they needed to put to death any ideas that they had within themselves, any personal plans, ideas about their future, because in order to be worthy of a queen and serving the king, you have to be totally emptied of all self, death to all self. So that's the myrrh. Then the second oil that I use is Rose of Sharon, and that represents beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, and the oil of joy for mourning. The third one that I use is cedar wood, and you probably are aware that in biblical times when they were building the temple, they imported all of the lumber from Lebanon, cedars of Lebanon, and that represents strength, permanence, wholeness, and restoration. And the fourth oil that I use is cassia, and that represents kingly humility and a servant's heart. So before I get going on my day, I've anointed myself with these 4 oils, and I believe that it helps. So once I've left the bathroom, I'm heading for the kitchen, but on my way, I go through the living room and I get my other diffuser going for the day, and I choose different flavors in that, but my favorite one, excuse me, my favorite one is lemon and thieves. And sometimes I use Christmas spirit or joy. There are just a number of different ones that I choose at different times, but the one that I use the most often is lemon and thieves. So then I'm heading for the kitchen, and the very first thing that I do is get a little packet of Ninja Red, and I take 1 ounce in the morning and 1 ounce at night. At my age, I'm not doing a lot of healthy cooking, and I know that that really helps with some of the things that I need for my body to keep me going. And so that's the first thing I do. The second thing is my cup of coffee or tea. And very often in that, I'll put a drop of peppermint, something that tastes good. And I found that you don't want more than one drop of peppermint because it is really strong and it'll just overwhelm you if you've got too much. Don't do a lot of cooking for breakfast, but quite often I'll have oatmeal. And when I do, I very often use the cinnamon just to spice it up a little bit. And let me think now. I have a little basket on my kitchen table with different flavors of lemon and orange and citrus fresh and tangerine and lime and peppermint. And so during the day, I often use a drop of one or the other of them. And of course, I always have my glass of water there with one of those items in it. So after breakfast, washing dishes, over my kitchen sink, I have a little bottle of the Foaming Thieves hand soap, and that works really well. And I also keep under my sink a bottle of the Thieves, what's it called? Household cleaner. And this isn't very big, but it makes a lot of cleaning fluid. It comes with a little jar here like this, and you put one little capful in here and fill it up with water, and it's wonderful for all your household cleaning, countertops and windows and floor and whatever you want to clean. It works really well for all that. If I need to do a load of laundry that day, I use the Thieves laundry soap. And again, it comes in a small jug, but my loads, I use 1/4 of a capful, which is like maybe a tablespoonful. It's a very little bit. And I've only had one jug and I've used it, I think, at least a year. So, and it doesn't feel like it's getting anywhere near empty. So it goes a long ways. So let me think, what else do I do? In the summertime, when I'm outside, if I'm working on flowers or feeding my birds or something, and the mosquitoes are around, I quite often spray myself with, I can't remember if it's purification. Okay, diluted many times in a spray bottle, just a little bit on my legs and around my feet and around my neck where the mosquitoes are apt to try to come and visit. So that works well. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I do wear a little diffuser necklace. And so I go every day with whatever I'm needing. If I have a stressful day, I might use Stress Away or Joy or Peace and Calming, and those all work really well. Forgot to mention that the very first thing that we learned about Young Living was when my husband Marv was in the nursing home, the veterans nursing home, and we were introduced to the diffuser that I've mentioned a couple of times here. And I kept that going all the time up there for his last 2 years that he was there. And you would not believe how many of the staff would come in and say, just love to come into your room because it's so peaceful in here and it smells so good. And that really helped a lot for us. And actually the smell from our room wafted out into the hall, and very often people would poke their nose in and say, what is it you got that smells so good in here? So we were able to introduce Young Living products to a few people that way also. So right now I can't think of anything else that I'd like to share with you, but I just want you to know that I am very enthusiastic about Young Living products and have had wonderful luck using them myself, and I pray that some of you will have benefited from this and will try them also. So thanks so much.